This Baseplan Presents video features how to streamline your payment collection process, focusing on the following areas: allocating collection officers to your customers, viewing a summary of overdue invoices and follow-ups, drilling into collection notes, transactions and rental history, emailing invoices and statements, sending reminders to the collection officers.
I'm currently logged into Baseplan Enterprise. And so what we want to look at is how can we actually empower our accounts receivable staff to manage their overdue payments and invoices better with their customers. So when we go to the customer module here, we can open up the customer master, and typically this is where you're going to hold all your main information about your customer, and you can start drilling into things like invoices and transactions and contacts and stuff like that. So if I choose someone like Valaris Construction, for instance, we can see the name and the contact information and their address and all that sort of stuff. And the person that's actually owning this can be going up and looking at views and seeing things like transactions and invoices and rental history and contacts and stuff like that. But again, we don't want the person who's managing this information have to drill into all these different areas to find the information that they're after. So what we can do is we can go down the bottom right here and we can assign a collection officer. And so when we assign these collection officers, it's going to allow us to start viewing this information in a single screen. So if we head over to the left here again on the menu item, we can see here that we've also got this item called collection notes. And so I can open up here and type in Valaris Construction again, and I can see the collection note that's been entered and when it's due and what invoice it relates to and that sort of stuff. But again, we're manually going in and adding these notes and all sort of stuff. So we want to be able to view all this information in a single screen. So what we can do is we can go over here on the left and we can go to collections. And this will give us a few different extra screens, and we can look at collection summary and collection details. So I can click on collection summary. And what this is going to do is going to give me a few different filters. It's going to filter on my name, so only things that I'm responsible for. It will show me different types of follow-ups, the agent that we're going to look at, how we want to order it. We can also choose the follow-up date that the collection note needs to be looked at. I can also filter on the particular customer that maybe I want to scope it by. What I can do is I can just hit filter. It's going to show me all the current collection notes that are in the system that need to be followed up by this date. And it's also going to show me the overdue transactions that need to be paid, so they're over their payment terms. Now what we can do is we can script this out. So maybe I want to look at an extra week out, for instance. So I do 1W, hit filter, and it will show me any additional items. So we can see here there's another one for Valaris. So what I can do is I can right click on this, and then I can go and have a look at the account summary, for example, and it will show me month to date, year to date, all that information around what they've given us. We can then also go back and look at things like the account aging, so we can see how many days that they're in for each of those different areas and do some additional filters on other customers. We can continue going through this, and we can start looking at things like transactions and actually creating these collection notes. So I can say add or edit, and this will bring up that existing collection note, and I can go through and start maybe editing this item and updating the date that it needs to be done, and any additional comments that we need to put in here. But where the power really comes into this is being able to drill into this information. So maybe we're looking at these overdue transactions, and I want to right click and I want to look at the details. I can say show me the collection details. So this will scope it just on Valaris Construction, for instance. So it's going to show me all of the collection notes that are in the system, and I can go up here and I can view that history. I can look at all the transactions that are in the system that relate to Valaris as well, and go through here and preview the invoices. Might want to have a look at it. I can see all these different columns heading here, and I can actually see the GL batch as well that it might relate to. So I can just double click on that, and it will take me directly to that particular GL journal and start drilling into that information. And go back here. I can then go over to the next item here and also look at all the rental contracts that are in the system. So maybe I want to drill into one of these rental contracts and actually see what the detail is. Maybe someone I need to follow up with internally. I want to see what the actual status is of the detail lines, whether the generator's been delivered or not. Was there any comments on the contract that I might need to look at when I'm following up my invoices potentially. And yeah, we can do some different scoping here. It also is going to show me the basic information about the account and how much credit they have left and their current days. And if we go back to the transactions, if we are talking to a customer and we're creating a collection note in the system, maybe they've asked for, maybe they said that they didn't get the invoices. So we can actually select these lines down here and actually send these invoices out of the system as well to them. We have an option to also send the invoices with the statements as well. And maybe the customers come back and said, yep, we're going to pay these 3 invoices next week. We can also put the date, so that this is going to be in 3 weeks, maybe, for instance. We can then update the forecasted payment date for those different items. So it'll update the estimated payment date on that particular invoice line. So then we have another reference point for when we're doing our collections to be able to set information. So you can see here, it's updated those dates automatically on the right. So it really just empowers the collection officers to start managing their accounts better, and that's when you can start doing things like adding budgets to those different accounts and tracking how fast they can actually get those payments in. So I would highly recommend people really think about how these types of things can really streamline their collection process. And how they can divvy up the accounts and really give their accounts receivable people the information they need to start following up and getting those payments in and reducing the days that are owed. Now, the last thing I just want to touch on before we finish up this session is when we actually do have a collection note in the system. So if I was to right click and edit this particular collection note, you can see down the bottom here, there's a reminder receipt that can be set up. So we can actually set up the system. So what we call the reminder services, we'll send an email to the person that's actually responsible for this collection note and send them a reminder to their email, rather than having to even log into Baseplan to see that information. So really trying to add another layer of automation and workflow for that person when they're actually managing their notes. And yeah, so that basically wraps up today's Baseplan Presents session. If you do have any questions or ideas on future topics, please leave a comment in the section below. And we hope to see everyone again in next week's session.